Let's be brutally honest. She doesn't respect you anymore, and deep down you know it. You text first, you chase, you wait, and she gives you breadcrumbs in return. That's not love. That's emotional slavery. But here's the Stoic truth. The moment you detach from a woman who doesn't respect you, you become powerful. This is not about hate or revenge. It's about control, self-control, emotional control, Stoic control. Let's break neediness and build power, starting now. Number 1, understand. Respect is not love. As men, we're often raised to believe that effort equals results. Work hard, be loyal, show up, and love will follow. But relationships don't always work that way, especially when it comes to respect. Many men confuse a woman's attention with her affection. Just because she texts you back, still calls you babe, or swings by every now and then, doesn't mean she still loves you. It might just mean you're convenient. A placeholder, a backup, plan while she explores better options. That's a brutal truth, but it's a truth that frees you. Here's the deeper pain. When respect fades, love becomes performative. She talks over you in public. She laughs at your goals. She starts comparing you to others, subtly, then more directly. You feel the shift, you sense the distance, but instead of walking away, you hope. You tell yourself, she's just going through something, or maybe if I just try harder. And that's the trap. That hope, disconnected from reality, becomes the chain that binds you to your own downfall. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know the truth. Apply that here. It doesn't matter how many people tell you she still loves you if the truth is she doesn't respect you. And without respect, love cannot survive. Stoicism teaches us to detach, not out of coldness, but out of clarity. To see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. If you want peace, stop asking if she still cares. Start asking if she still respects you. Because when a woman no longer sees you as a man worthy of respect, every word of affection becomes hollow. And you deserve more than that. You deserve truth. Number 2, observe her actions, not her words. A man who lives by words alone is a man waiting to be deceived. Sweet texts, emotional apologies, and promises of change might comfort the heart, but they don't build trust. Words are wind. But behavior? That's where her truth lives. A Stoic man understands that reality is what is, not what was said. If her recent actions show disrespect, disinterest, or manipulation, you must believe that, no matter how sweet her words sounded last month, love without respect is poison dressed as passion. Think about the man who keeps replaying those moments from the honeymoon phase. Her laugh, her compliments, the way she looked at him. But now, she's always busy. She dodges accountability. She pushes his boundaries subtly or not. And yet he stays because he's still hypnotized by words. Stoicism teaches us not to live in the illusions of memory, but to face the rawness of now. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And how you react when her actions change, that defines. You ask yourself, does she actually respect you, or does she just fear losing her control over you? Does she show up for you consistently, or only when it benefits her? If her behavior erodes your peace, but her words try to patch it with hollow affection, detach. You are not a fool to want loyalty, but you are a fool to ignore disrespect. Respect is not a gift you beg for. It's a standard you enforce. A Stoic man commands it by how he walks, how he speaks, and how he refuses to accept less. Don't argue. Don't explain. Let her confusion be her consequence. Your silence will teach more than your pleading ever could. Number 3, kill the need for validation. Let's talk about one of the deepest emotional traps that breaks men. The need to be chosen. Not loved, not respected, chosen. And this is where the darkness begins. When a man starts craving validation, more than he values his self-worth, he becomes a shadow of himself. He becomes the guy who texts first, begs for attention, overanalyzes silence, and loses sleep wondering where he stands. That's not love. That's addiction. You're not obsessed with her. You're obsessed with how she makes you feel about yourself. That's dangerous, because the moment your identity depends on someone else's approval, you've already surrendered your throne. Stoicism doesn't coddle weak egos. It liberates men from them. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Her reactions, her compliments, her interest or disinterest, all beyond your control. But your discipline, your values, your sense of self, those are yours. The Stoic man doesn't beg to be chosen. He chooses himself daily through action, purpose, and principle. A woman's validation is nice, but never necessary. You don't chase what doesn't honor you. And you damn sure don't kneel for breadcrumbs of affection when you were born to build your own kingdom. Here's the real punch. Most men are not afraid of losing her. They're afraid of losing the version of themselves they imagined when she liked them. But here's your awakening. That version was fake, the real you. He emerges when you're rejected and still rise. When you walk away from disrespect with your spine straight. When you stop asking, "What does she think of me?" and start declaring, "This is who I am." Validation is a leash. Cut it. Stand tall. Let your self-respect echo so loud that it drowns out your doubts. That's not ego, that's inner freedom, that's stoicism in the fire. Number 4, build your emotional backbone. Most men are taught to either suppress their emotions or let them explode unchecked. But the Stoic path cuts through both extremes. Emotional backbone isn't about becoming a stone, it's about becoming a fortress. A man with an emotional backbone feels deeply, but he is not ruled by those feelings. He can sit with anger, heartbreak, or betrayal without being pulled into chaos. That's power, that's leadership, that's stoicism. Imagine this. Your girlfriend blindsides you with a breakup. You didn't see it coming. You feel the panic rise, your chest tightens, your mind spins with 1,000 questions. Most men crumble here. They text paragraphs, they beg, they lose sleep, stop eating, and worse, they lose themselves. But the Stoic man? He breathes. He names the emotion, abandonment. He questions it. Why do I feel unworthy just because she left? He doesn't lash out or chase. He lets her go, not because he doesn't care, but because he refuses to self-destruct for someone who chose to walk away. That's emotional backbone in action. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your emotions are signals, not commands. You don't obey every fear or desire that visits you. You observe, you interrogate, you control. And this kind of internal discipline isn't built in comfort. It's forged in storms, when she tests your patience, when life hits you with betrayal, when you feel like crying out, but instead, you breathe through it and stand tall. That's when you earn your dignity. That's when you stop being a boy looking for validation and start becoming a man who creates his own peace. Remember, the world doesn't respect a man who breaks every time it shakes him, but it can't ignore the man who stands calm in fire. Number 5, replace obsession with purpose. There's a dangerous trap men fall into, mistaking obsession for love and attachment for connection. When you're deeply attached to someone who hasn't earned your emotional loyalty, you hand them the keys to your mind. Suddenly your peace depends on a notification. Your self-worth swings with their moods. One cold reply and you spiral. One compliment and you feel alive. You start monitoring her like a stock chart, trying to predict every rise and fall. That's not love. That's self-abandonment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this. and you will find strength. A Stoic man understands that obsession is a form of weakness. It reveals a void, and that void can't be filled by someone's validation. It can only be filled by purpose. Detachment doesn't mean apathy, it means discipline. It means refusing to let your soul orbit someone else's chaos. You don't escape obsession by chasing another woman. You escape it by chasing your mission, your fitness, your craft, your principles. That's how you come back to yourself. So ask yourself, am I spending more time thinking about her or building me? Are you scrolling through her stories or scripting your legacy? Are you waiting for a good morning text to feel loved, or waking up ready to wage war on your potential? A Stoic man doesn't beg for peace. He builds it. Every drop of energy you waste on confusion is energy stolen from your evolution. So shift your focus, not to seduction, but to self-mastery. Because once you lock in on your purpose, everything else becomes noise. Number 6, withdraw your attention without announcement. There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes not every battle is worth fighting with noise. The most powerful statement you can make is to walk away in silence, not with rage, not with manipulation, but with calm detachment. When you feel your respect slipping through the cracks, when your loyalty is being met with mockery, neglect, or emotional games, you don't need to retaliate with drama. You simply reclaim your energy. You don't announce your exit. You become it. That is power. That is Stoic detachment in motion. Imagine a man in a relationship where he constantly overextends himself, texting, planning, fixing every emotional crisis while she barely acknowledges his efforts. He's loyal, committed, but she's treating his presence like background noise. One day he decides no more, no long speech, no accusations, just silence. He stops chasing, stops explaining, and in that stillness, something shifts. She notices the void. Not because he tried to hurt her, but because he finally chose to honor himself. That's not playing games. That's playing by your principles. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. A man doesn't need to burn bridges. He builds boundaries. He doesn't crave revenge. He cultivates respect. When you remove your attention, not as punishment, but as a return to self-worth, you awaken the deepest masculine force, discipline. It's not emotional coldness, it's emotional sovereignty. Remember, the loudest man in the room is often the weakest. But the man who walks away without a word commands storms in silence. Number 7, detachment, bitterness. This is where a lot of men fall off the path. They think letting go means getting even. She leaves, and suddenly they're posting gym selfies, flexing new cars, and trying to show the world they've leveled up. But the truth is, if you're trying to make her jealous and you're not over her, you're still enslaved to her validation. That's not detachment. That's desperation wearing cologne. Stoic detachment isn't about revenge. It's about release. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's quiet, calm, and deeply powerful. You don't need to broadcast your worth to the world, you live it. A man who is truly detached doesn't care who sees his progress because he's not doing it for anyone else. He doesn't run from pain, he absorbs it, learns from it, and moves on with grace because he knows not every goodbye deserves a response. Not every betrayal requires a battle. Seneca said, "A wise man is content with himself." That's the real win. When you no longer need to prove her wrong because you've already proven yourself right. Detachment isn't weakness. It's her sign you've grown past the need for emotional chaos. It's when you no longer chase closure because you are the closure. The chapter ends not with bitterness, but with wisdom. And you walk away, not wounded, but reborn. Conclusion: men, detachment is not a weakness, it's a superpower. It doesn't mean you don't care, it means you don't chase what drains you. Here's your recap. Don't confuse attention with respect. Watch her actions, not her sweet talk. Kill your need for validation. Build emotional strength with stoic clarity. Obsess over purpose, not people. Withdraw without drama. Stay calm, not bitter. Comment below. I choose power over need. And share this with a brother who's stuck in a cycle of disrespect. Help him rise. Subscribe to Stoic 95 for more mental mastery, emotional control, and ancient wisdom for modern men.